Instagram. How are you doing? Okay, let me just quickly check whether Facebook is working as well. Okay, I guess it's running. We will see. It's still loading. All right. Hello everyone and welcome to our 8th career coaching drop-in session. My name is Lisa and I'm also known as JobCoachGermany. And I'm very happy that you're here because today this session is all about you. So let me just quickly introduce what I do so that you know that you're right here or whether you're wasting your time. So as JobCoachGermany, I introduce the German labor market to you and I talk about trends and hints and tips and tricks on how to apply for a job in Germany in case you want to change your job, in case you are thinking of moving and living in Germany. And that's where I can help you with. Basically, what I do is I can explain the entire application process to you, and then I help with the documentation, which means you need the cover letter, the CV, as well as your preparation for the interview. And this is something that I do and that I can help you with, mock job interviews. So if you're currently unhappy with your job, if the industry that you're working in is not very stable and you're very unsatisfied with the situation that you're in right now and you're looking for a change, then you're definitely right here because you will get a little bit of input on your mindset. You will also get input on what you can do in order to improve your application documents, and then also you get some information on how to integrate yourself into a new culture. So it doesn't really have to be that you want to apply for a job in Germany specifically. The career tips that I give are general to some point as well, but then I will talk in detail about the German labor market in case you're interested. And so for now, we have the end of March, and this career coaching drop-in session has been going on for 3 months, and I'm just announcing now that there will be a little bit of change, and in the upcoming days I will do a little survey and ask you a couple of questions with regards to what kind of times you like to have the live, what times are best for you to participate, and what kind of things you want to know and ask with regards to job applications and the German labor market. And then I will adjust this format a little bit more towards your needs, which means now it's 10 a.m. in Germany, but if you are still asleep, for example, then this might not be helpful. I know that the lives are available for 24 hours, but sometimes you just want to talk to me in person. That's why we had this drop-in session, right? So just to announce now, I will change the format a little bit. It might be that the times will change, but then I will inform you right away, of course, and then you can vote what kind of times are best for you, and then we will adjust it so that your needs are covered, because actually this session is about you. And yeah, let's go on with your questions that you've sent me. So let's just quickly have an overview of where the questions came from. So we have basically people from all over the world asking me. We have from Canada, from the US, from Brazil, from England, from Iran, from Morocco, India, Turkey, Lebanon, Kenya as well, Albania, Bhutan. All right, so you will see there are a lot of people that are from different parts of the world, which is why I decided to change the format as well, just in order to cover a lot more of you. And let's start with the first question, which is from Omid. And Omid has a bachelor's degree in agriculture and he is looking for a job. And the best thing that I can always advise you to do is make up your mind what kind of job job you're looking for. Is it a job in your field? And what kind of position you're looking for. And then it's important to figure out what the title of your preferred job is in German, so that we can search the job search engines in English and in German. Obviously, it's always good to know for me whether you already know a little bit of German, or whether you're learning German currently, or whether you have no idea of German whatsoever. And then I advise you to take a course to learn a little bit of German, because this is helpful for you to integrate yourself into the community as well. And then, of course, it's no issue at all to come to Germany without any German skills, but you need to be careful with your visas. Okay, so that was the session that I talked about last week. That was all about visas, and depending on the kind of visa that you want and that you need for your specific position, there are different levels of German that you need to have in order to apply for that particular visa. But these are things that you can ask me, and then I will tell you what kind of German level you need. For most of the visas, it's between A2 and B1. But then again, when, for example, you want to study in Germany and you want to study in German as well, then a higher level of German is necessary, C1 or even C2. But most of the time when you are asking me for a position, then you're mostly asking for a position in the working field and not in the research field. But with regards to Omid, looking for the job, so first of all, he needs to find out the title, what the title of his job is called in German, and then we can search the job search engines such as Indeed.com, Monster.de, Stepstone.com, and Meinestadt.de, and I will link all of these in my Facebook group, which is called Insights of JobCoachGermany. So in case you want to take a look at those job search engines, feel free to join my Facebook group. I will link that one as well. And then Omid can look for his job in the agricultural field in German and in English. And then from there, he can decide on how to apply for that. And then he also asked for his wife, who has a PhD in chemistry of food science, and his wife is looking for a postdoc position. And for that, I highly recommend to take a look into the research visas, because for her, she will probably need a research visa instead of a working permit. And with that, it's always good to take a look at specific universities. So find out the university that is well known for chemistry, of food science, and the field that she wants to study in or wants to work in as a postdoc. And then she can apply for that particular position at the university, because obviously universities function like companies as well. They hire people, they pay people, and for those people, they have their own career sites like every other company. And that's where I would recommend for her to look at. Also, with her PhD, she's probably come across a lot of information on particular research that has been done in Germany. So maybe she takes a look into those universities in particular. So some research that she's done, maybe she has done a cooperation, and then she can contact some people. Then also what I recommend to all of you is take a look at LinkedIn or Crossing. So, which is Xing, it's the German way of LinkedIn. It's all in German, but obviously with the with your browsers, you can always try to change the language, and then it might be helpful. And you can look for a job there. And it's always good to have connections on LinkedIn, because the network that you have there is very supportive. And they can, even if they don't have a job for you, they might be able to give a recommendation about you. And confirm some of the skills that you have. If you have questions on that, you can also contact me. Then the next one is Abdullah, and Abdullah has a diploma in restaurant services, and he's looking for a job in services. And what I advised him to do is also to look for the jobs on those job search engines, and he should enter into the search line gastro service English or catering services English. Always put the tag English into there in order for you to find a job in English, if this is the only language that you can work in at the beginning, and then later on you can switch to German. And Abdullah also said that he prefers to live in Berlin, so there are special job search engines for each of the cities. So like I said, it's called meinestadt.de, and meine Stadt means my city. And then you can have /Berlin, and then you will find the jobs in Berlin. But there are also something like Berlin Jobanzeiger, which means Berlin job ads and things like that, where you can look for particular jobs in that specific city where you want to live in. Then there was another a lady, Bansi. She is currently a student in economics and finance and management, and she's looking for a job in Germany, but she didn't really know where to start yet. And she just knew that she wanted to have a job in Dresden or Chemnitz, and but she didn't really know, okay, I have studied in this field, economics and finance and management, and I might have a couple of more semesters to go in order to finish my degree, and then what can I do? So what I highly recommend to do there is, first of all, especially taking a look at the career services that the university is offering, because the universities normally have career centers where they help you with your applications, and they will give you an overview on how to apply for jobs, and they sometimes even offer courses for free where you have little workshops and seminars where they explain to you everything, what you can do afterwards. Obviously, depending on the country where you're studying in, this service of the university for careers might be different. Yeah, some are more extensive, some are a little bit more high level. And so, for example, when I studied in Germany, in Magdeburg, the career service was very good and they offered everything that I needed. But I didn't have, for example, a personal advisor that I could go to and talk to and have mock job interviews with. But when I was studying in England, for example, they offered all of that. And the slight difference is that in Germany, most of the universities are public or state universities, which means the studying in Germany is almost for free, apart from the administration fees. And in England, I had to pay tuition, right? And that's why a couple of those services are included. But that's the first step that I would do. Go to the careers institute or the career department of your university, and they will help you and explain the process to you, because obviously if you haven't worked before, you don't really know what you're going to do next, right? So this is something that you need to consider. And then also what I highly recommend doing there at this point, you should take some personality tests to find out where your strengths and weaknesses are. This is also very helpful to know, because then you can you have a little backup for your job interview. And also what I did when I didn't know what I wanted to be, when at the age of 16 or something like that, I went to the job center and I just simply looked at all the job ads that there were. And then I just looked at, okay, these are all the things that I don't want to do. And these might be things that I want to do. I'm not so sure about that yet, but it's always good to know what you don't want to do. Yeah, so you need to find out, do you want to work outside? Do you want to work inside? Do you like working in teams? Do you like to work on your own? And these are things that you need to find out. And obviously with economics and finance, it's kind of a right direction, but you need to know what kind of jobs you can do. Yeah, and you need to know whether you want to work for a bank, or you want to work for a company in the banking department or the finance department. Would you like to work as a controller? Everything is like, basically the world is your oyster, and you can think of any job that you would like to do. Once you have found out what you want to do, the next step is the same, like finding out what is the title in German. Maybe we can use the English title already, and then go through the job search engines and on LinkedIn and look for the jobs, or look for the particular job that you would like to do. Then the next person asked, it's Abhishek, and Abhishek would like to move to Berlin and find a job. And he has already prepared a European style CV and a cover letter, but he would like to know what's the process next. Right, so this is already a very good base, having prepared the European style CV and the cover letter. And now, if you already know what kind of job you want, then you can take a look at the job search engines and look for several jobs. I always advise look at least for 10 up to 20 jobs, and then go through the requirements that they're asking for and check whether you know how to explain that you actually have those skills that they are looking for. You need to find out for yourself whether you are a good fit for them. Yeah, because otherwise you will be unhappy as well, not being able to do the job. And obviously the recruiters will see, okay, the skills don't match our job ad and the requirements that we are looking for, and then they won't invite you for the job interview. So this is something that you need to consider. But normally the first step, or the entire process is make up your mind what kind of job you're looking for, search for the job, and then prepare your documents according to the job ad. So basically, I have individual CVs and individual cover letters for each and every single application that I send out. And for that, it is important. And I can tell you, sometimes one application can take up to 3 or 4 hours, depending on how much time you would like to invest into the research of the company. Because you need to find out for yourself whether you like the company or not, whether you can actually think of working with them or not. Because there's not much to do, or there's no point in applying for a company that you don't feel like you want to stay there a long time. Then you don't need to invest that much time into your application. But then from there, preparing the individual documents, you wait normally until they contact you, and after 2 weeks you can call and ask, okay, what's the situation, what's the status of my application, and then you can and then they will either invite you to the job interview or not. Sometimes the job interview is divided into several steps. First starting with a telephone interview, and then going on with a personal interview with a HR person, and then going on with the people from the department where you're actually working in. Sometimes there can be assessment centers, and then once this process is done, you will also again have to wait, and at the latest after 2 weeks of the job interview, or after the job interview, 2 weeks after the job interview, I highly recommend for you to call them again and ask, okay, what's the status? And for me, it was always like that. Okay, if they haven't called me back within 2 weeks, they are either caught up in their own administration stuff, and I just go on with all of the other applications, or they simply just don't see the right fit, but they haven't told me yet. But I don't have the time to wait for that. And all of the entire time when I'm waiting for the call, whether I got the job or not, I'm still applying for other jobs, right? Because you don't know what's happening. Sometimes I have at one point I had 4 job interviews in 2 days. And then I was lucky and I got to pick which one I would like to go to and work with. And this is something that I highly recommend for you all to do as well. So I'm actually very sorry that the sun is, but this is a good sign, right? So the sun is coming out, and We have very good weather. I hope you can still see me here on Facebook. Yes, and I actually, let me know in the comments whether you're here, because I see on Instagram that some people are popping in, but yeah, let me know in the comments whether you have any more questions. Okay, so the next one is Nitesh, and Nitesh wants a job in Germany, a mechanical software job, and he is a job starter, or like he calls it a fresher, and he doesn't have any experience as of yet. So no real work experience, only from university. And he also has a 3-year gap in his studies. So these are two main points that we need to discuss here. So first of all, being a starter is no issue. We normally have junior positions for that. And something, where you have actually a very good onboarding with the companies, because they will offer you certain seminars and workshops and network meetings in order to get to know the company a lot better, and then in order to develop your skills for the actual job a lot more. So this is something that you don't need to worry about, but you need to look for positions that have like a junior in the title. And then the other part was the 3-year gap in his studies. In general, gaps are not bad. This is something that you don't need to be afraid of. You just need to know how to explain that during the job interview. Yeah, somebody is going to ask, okay, 3-year gap, so what did you do in that time? Did you just chill on the couch and play Xbox all day? This is something that doesn't really support you getting the job. But if you say you've done a seminar, or you have done a self-development course, or you just needed to figure out what you wanted to do, or you had to earn money in between, and then that's why you work part-time somewhere, things like that. So there is definitely no issue with having gaps in your CV, but you need to be able to explain it properly. And you can also show that you have weaknesses, and that, for example, you were not sure whether this study program was the right thing or not, but then you realized this is actually something that would bring you forward and would actually make you happy and bring you joy. And if you can explain it in that way, the recruiter will understand, because everybody that is sitting there and asking you the questions is just a human being as well. So they know that gaps are natural, and that people need to reconsider whether this is the right direction they're going in. They'd rather employ someone that has had a gap, sorry, that has had a gap in their CV, because they have actually thought about it, right? Thought about, is that the right thing for me or not? And then when you go on and continue with what you're doing, then you know that it's the right thing. The people that are starting right away after the university without any practical experience, maybe they find out during the job that the job is not the right thing for them to do. And then after 3 months, they decide, okay, this is not the right thing to do. I go back to university and study something else. And that's why the employer prefers people that have already figured out that they actually like doing that particular job. Okay, then we have Bhupesh, who is looking for a job as a security officer, and he would like to have a CV template. And yeah, and that is something that you can find on my Facebook group. So I have shared 2 different CV templates, one with a classic table style CV, and the other one is a modern style CV. And once you join my Facebook group, you can have this as a freebie. Then the next person is Farzan, and Farzan would like to have a job from a German employer in Munich or Düsseldorf, and would like to work as a stock engineer or a technician in a subway. Okay, this is definitely possible. What I always recommend to do is then search the job engines for the particular cities, for Munich or Düsseldorf. Yeah, there is, you can also search on Indeed and Stepstone, but then also type in that particular city. Yeah. Then Roy is asking, he's looking for a job outside of his country, and he has experience in accounting, and he would like me to take a look at his CV and revamp his LinkedIn. And this is a perfect candidate for my services, because this is what I do. I look at your current CVs, and then I will help you to dramatically improve what is written on there, and then afterwards we can use this information on your CV to improve your LinkedIn. And nowadays it's also probably more important to improve your LinkedIn profile rather than your CV that you have in a physical way in your hand. And something that might be very interesting to you as well, once you've entered all of the different stations on your LinkedIn profile, you can make LinkedIn provide you with a CV. So there is a little button on the top right somewhere where it says create resume or create CV. And this is very helpful for all of you who want to skip the step and just want to use the information from the LinkedIn profile and quickly print out the CV. Then the next person is Lekash. Lekash wanted to know more about English speaking jobs in Germany. Okay, so for that there are particular search engines. I have shared them with you in my highlights on Instagram, and obviously in my Facebook group you will find them as well. So those search engines are englishjobs.de, jobs.thelocal.de, or lifeworkgermany.com. These are just 3 of them, but those are the search engines that I suggest for you to take a look at if you're looking for jobs in English in particular. Then I have Lane, and Lane is looking for a job as a caretaker for old people or children, and these are actually very key requirements to come to Germany, because we need caretakers. Yeah, so we are in high need of them, and it's very likely that Lane will get a job if she has the right qualification for that, or if she doesn't, she can always get an apprentice contract here and then get the certificate or everything that she still needs in order to become an official caretaker. And she was looking for a website or a service where she can learn German, and there's something that I would highly recommend, even though I'm not an affiliate yet, and that is Lingoda. Lingoda is a company that I have worked with as a German teacher, and they are offering several languages, and it's especially helpful for those people that are abroad and need to take the classes and lessons at their own pace and their own time, because you can book 24 hours, 7 days a week. Once you are in Germany, you might get an integration course where you can go to a school in the evenings after your job, and then get a German intensive course. Or you come to Germany and then you do an intensive course within 2 weeks or so, or a month, depending on how much time you have before you need to start with your job. Yes. Right, so this is about German learning. Then Buvesh is looking for a job in IT or software developer. And he was asking me whether I can provide jobs in the Netherlands. And I'm sorry to say so, but no, I'm not an expert for the job and labor market in the Netherlands, unfortunately. I also don't understand their language very well, even though it's quite similar to German. But that's where you need to look for services in the Netherlands if you want to work there. But with regards to the visa, they apply for the same, because the Netherlands also belong to the Schengen area that I talked about last week. So this is something that might be very helpful for you to know. So it's the same process with the visas. Then Aldo was looking for visa information, and there I can just highly recommend to take a look at last week's career coaching drop-in session. Then Tarun is a truck driver, and his wife is working at a beauty parlor, and both don't have any German skills yet, but they are looking for jobs. Okay, so as a truck driver, you don't really need to know any German, right? You can drive the truck without knowing German. So the only thing that might be a little bit difficult is to actually have the conversation in case they're asking you something in German during the job interview or something like that. But truck drivers are always needed as well. And his wife working in a beauty parlor or at a beauty parlor, there I would highly recommend to brush up on the German skills first, because you have huge contact with the clients and the customers, and obviously most of them speak German. Unless you want to go to Berlin, then maybe you can speak in English. Okay, then Manoj was looking for a job seeker visa, and that's what I talked about last week. So you can take a look at that again. And then the last one is Mortiza, and he has 15 years of experience in building aluminum ships, and he would like to work in Germany. And that is very good, because we have a lot of harbors as well where they are building ships as well. So for that, I would highly recommend to look at in the areas like Hamburg, where they have huge harbors, and where they have where they're building ships basically, or restoring ships, and that's a great place to search for a job there. All right, so now I've spoken again too much. But those were all of your questions, and I was very, very happy and lucky that you all sent them in. So thank you very much for that. Feel free to leave more of your questions in the comments, or send me a message on Instagram or on Facebook Messenger. And then I highly recommend you all to join my private Facebook group, Insights of Job Coach Germany, because there I will share all of the links that I've talked about and all of the templates that I've spoken about. You will get even further information. And take a look at my website as well, lisajans.com. And then I will keep you updated on what the format will be looking like